Knives Out, an original whodunit by writer-director Rian Johnson that is, without a doubt, 100% less clever than he thinks it is. Knives Out is an ensemble film starring Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Plummer, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Chris Evans, Ana de Amas, don't know if I pronounced her name right, and a few other ones in it. One of my biggest things about the film is the accent that they have Daniel Craig in. He's got some Kentucky Fried Chicken super southern accent that seems to be forced more as the film goes on. The first act of the film is pretty good. It's well put together. It kind of gives you a little bit of mystery about who did it and what happened. But as the film gets into the second and third act, Daniel Craig's accent keeps going higher, along with the quality of the film going down. I didn't like Craig's accent. I thought it was too much. It kind of played it up, and it may have been played up to try to throw off these aristocratic folks into thinking he was just some country bumpkin idiot that didn't really know what he was doing, when in fact he was pitting them against each other to find out who actually committed the crime. The biggest problem is almost right away, as soon as it starts to pan out that, something happened, he may not have committed suicide here, one character comes in and you automatically assume he's the one who committed the crime, and then you find out, well, they may have been the one that committed the crime, regardless of any twists and turns that you put in here. And it was really just one of those films that too much was put into the political overtones of the film. Ana de Amas obviously plays an immigrant character who is a nurse. There's multiple times where the family refers to her as being from a variety of Central American countries, never being the same. And they even make comments about her mother being illegal and how that kind of factors into some of the actions that are taken in the film, and some of her actions in not doing certain things or saying certain things. The film is definitely better while they're in the house, but once they go out in the house, kind of exploring the outer world, it's not nearly as claustrophobic, or the tension, the conniving and the headbutting of the different family members is not really there. Chris Evans is interesting in this film. He's a dick all around in it, and he's playing it 100% that way. And for Chris Evans' acting, he does a good job playing this asshole-ish character, but he's very shallow, and you kind of know he's shallow, and you can kind of tell where it's going. Another big dislike of the film is the overuse of political overtones in it, and of course making a young boy the butt of all the jokes in the film. They call him an alt-right troll, they call him a Nazi, they make fun of him saying he's masturbating in the bathroom, things like that. It just gets too much, and it's really kind of tries your patience when you're sitting there and wanting to just watch a murder mystery when you're constantly being beat over the head with political rhetoric. That also comes up again with Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who actually had a surprisingly small role in the film. I figured she would have had a larger role. She didn't, and they made a point of showing her, even though she's kind of a mother goose, the head hen, rules the roost kind of type, with Don Johnson being her husband, who's basically just subservient to her, make a point of saying that her whole empire was basically built on a small loan of $1 million from her father, which is obviously a reference to Donald Trump in this case. And again, that's one of those things that the film doesn't need. It doesn't need to be continuous. It doesn't need to have continuous political references or political comments or pandering. That there's so many racists out there. These Nazis are doing this, alt-right, down with the immigrants. I hate the immigrants. Your parents are illegal. All this shit. That's not needed in this film, and you can tell this is obviously one of Rian Johnson's repertoire, because he likes to throw this stuff in there, and that leads to part of my determination that it's not near as clever as he thinks it is, because the character who is the bad character is almost 100% known to be the bad character as soon as they come onto the screen. And I don't think it really carries through, because they try to twist and turn you up, and you're like, oh, well, okay. But the twists, in fact, don't really even matter. If you watch how the thing goes beforehand, the movements and stuff like that, you can see various things, and you realize it's not needed, as it just seemed it didn't add to the narrative or anything, because the building blocks are already there. You have someone who's worth a lot of money, dies, and has a family that hates each other, that now all are fighting for that money. So the standard building blocks of a whodunit are there, and the political overtones just seem to be something that Rian Johnson is pushing. A lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi because of the political tones that he was forcing into the film, and a lot of people probably won't like this film because of it, because once they get past the murder mystery part of it, they use this to kind of build out the characters and show how bad they are. It's one of those things right now that politics is the soup du jour, and unfortunately it's going to infiltrate even something as simple as a whodunit clue murder mystery film, and it just didn't need to be there. The film really takes a turn for the worse after the first act, 40 minutes in or so, and it just keeps going down that path, and you're like, reel it in, Ryan, reel it in, Ryan. And he doesn't. He lays it on as thick as can be, and he's hoping that you'll kind of be like, oh yeah, no, I understand, I see that, but really it comes out as a very jaded, one-sided, politically motivated hack job of a whodunit that a director who thinks he's clever as hell and just created the best version of Clue ever, and really all you did was you made a film where the person we thought was bad, and the person who was good, but there's no depth to them. Again, I wouldn't recommend this. It's not really worth the $10 to spend at the theater. Wait till it comes out on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, something. Watch it there.